think start of the fourth quarter there was, I think that revealed kind of all our flaws collectively as a group. I think it was something like 8 possessions in a row where we got scored on, and it was, defensively we have to challenge ourselves to be able to contain and guard one-on-one. And this morning I was just looking at it. We're 4th in the league in pick and roll, 5th in DHO covers. So a lot of our team concepts we're doing well, and it gets to, can you guard your yard and just stay in front one-on-one? And unfortunately, that's where we're really falling short. And congrats to Washington because they really exposed it tonight. I thought Austin, started the fourth. It was just head down, drive, get whatever you want in our paint. And, multiple things we emphasized that we did well in the first half with our digs and showing help, we just completely went away from. So I think it's not just can we athletically contain one-on-one, but then we have to be exceptional game plan-wise, because if we're, not doing well in that area, then off the ball your positioning has to be perfect. And it was far from that tonight. Disappointing because for 3.5 quarters we were in control.
Alex, you talked after the last game about the fouls. Obviously tonight, almost 3 times as many free throw attempts as you guys had. What did you see there tonight?
It's not the refs, and I don't. We're not going to make any excuses. That's the mantra. It's us, and it's we're never going to go into these press conferences and complain about officiating when we're not taking care of what we need to do to be keeping teams off the line, and we didn't do that tonight. It's it's all linked to what I started with, Sean, with the one-on-one containment, and it's very difficult to train that in a season. So it's I think that's in the off season we've really got to take that very seriously, and I'm going to make it really clear to our players where we have to be able to defend one-on-one, because if we want to make the playoff jumps, it's going to be with the defense. I think that's what we need to really take that next step forward.
Early in the season, when the rebounding was an issue, and you were able to kind of quell that with some kind of like a mindset change of how you kind of took away some of the transition looks to force everyone to crash the rebounds. Is the defensive issues that you're seeing right now, is that kind of something that you might be able to fix in the last month with a shift in the defense, or is that just a personnel thing that?
Unfortunately, it's really impossible because it's tactically there's very few things you can do. I mean, we kind of talk about gap positions, but kind of depends on KYP who that player is in the gaps, and if there's a normal or a really good shooter, there's only so much you can be in those gaps, and you're just burning a simple kick out and a wide open three. So I think we do a good job for most of the time just recognizing like who we're helping off where, etc. But at the end of the day, I think a team defense it relies on, can you contain athletically one-on-one? Can you not allow your check to just blow by you and get in the paint? And it's watching the offense looks great, but that's not what's going to get us to the next jump. Like making great decisions on offense, making shots, like that's great, but it's defensively, that's where we really need to improve as a group in this last stretch of 7 games.
When you, looking ahead, when you are at the end of this last stretch of games, how will you measure success? What do you want to see improve? 7 games is a short period of time or a long period of time. What would you like to be able to say?
Yeah, I think just being consistent, because I can't fault the effort, Stephanie. Like the effort and the intent every game has been superb this season, and I couldn't be more grateful to the group for that. Like I feel as a group they're a joy to coach for that reason, and I think it's can be really frustrating, especially after a loss like tonight, just when a lot of that stuff defensively feels very, you feel very helpless because you can't scheme tactically to, I think I'm very, with the losses that come tactically where it's, where you can change a pick and roll cover or stuff, it's like those ones hurt you more as a coaching staff because it's like, oh, we should have tweaked covers here and we didn't see that. But when it comes down to basics of one-on-one containment, it's really challenging because there's very few things you can do to kind of minimize those situations from occurring. So I think definitely defensively, you know, it's going to be hard, especially with the FIBA break, losing some players there potentially. But I think it's just how, as a group, you know, we challenged them with the rebounding piece early on. I think it's time to do the same with blow-bys and just, you know, defending 1v1 and keeping them in front.
Alex, my math should be right on this. I think Megan and Bridget both now or Megan is now the single season leader in field goals for the team, and Bridget number 2 now. They both passed Sophia tonight. I guess offensively speaking, you know, what have you seen in both of those players' growth this year?
It's tough, Nick, because honestly, I don't even want to talk offense. Like, I think, yeah, we have a top 5 half-court offense in the W according to some metrics. Great. But if we're talking, you know, making a playoff push next year, that doesn't mean anything if we can't improve our team defense. So it's, yeah, I'm very happy with the offense. I feel like we're getting the most we can out of the person, out of, you know, the strengths of the personnel that we have, and they're doing a great job just kind of picking up spacings, cover solutions. But it's the other end where we got to double down on that.